77 WABC and Bergen Newbridge Medical Center honor the life of legendary broadcaster and our friend, Ernie Anastas.
Hi, it's Ernie Anastas. You know, your thoughts can affect how you feel. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is the largest hospital in New Jersey, providing comprehensive, equitable, compassionate, and high-quality emergency inpatient and outpatient medical care, plus mental health services and substance use disorder treatment. The Bergen Newbridge team can address your total health needs in one convenient location. Call 201-225-7130 for an appointment or newbridgehealth.org.
Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Joining us, of course, we have every weeknight here at 9 o'clock, Joe Concha on 77 WABC. And Joe, you know, John and I were talking about this fake news. You see stuff on the internet and it's like, oh, this happened. And then a lot of times you can't vet it out.
On Twitter, on Instagram. I mean, half of it is fake. I mean, how do you know it's true?
Right. And sometimes it looks kooky and it ends up being true. So that's scary, too.
So all you have to do is you see something that you say, wow, that doesn't quite look right. That sounds like it's pretty dishonest or not truthful. Just go into ChatGPT and say, hey, put in the item that you may be considering that may be dishonest, and it will tell you whether it is or not. Or even on Twitter, even on X, there's something called Grok, Grok, where literally you could write this Grok that's a fact-checking mechanism on there and say, hey, is this true? And it'll tell you whether it is or not. So, yeah, it's the Wild West, Cats. In other words, people can say or put anything they want up on social media and proclaim it as fact when it is not. But there are no producers, there are no editors, there are no things that you have, say, on a radio station or on Fox News or at the Washington Examiner where I write to say, hey, this isn't true. Everybody can just say what they want. And that's a big problem right now because misinformation, disinformation is a thing. It's all the rage. And there really are no rails.
We need a service that's going to be in charge of fake news.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that is a good. By the way,
somebody can make $1 billion creating a service for fake news.
Yeah, it should be, and to stamp it as X. By the way, here's something, guys.
I call it WABC, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, we do too.
Well
worldwide
done,
news. Worldwide news. Exactly. And Joe, here's something that isn't fake news. And I want to play this. This is President Trump talking. He's in China. Typical Trump. I love this. He's so funny. He's talking about the value of China, and he got into Chinese restaurants. Listen to this.
Yes.
As allies in World War II, President Franklin Roosevelt's mentions of the brave people of China, that's what they were, drew loud cheers in his speeches in the United States, and everybody loved what he had to say. Just as many Chinese now love basketball and blue jeans. Chinese restaurants in America today outnumber the 5 largest fast food chains in the United States, all combined. That's a pretty big statement.
So is that fake news?
No. I mean, look. I mean, any town forget cities, right? New York, there's like 1,000 of them. But any town in the United States, where do you not see a Chinese restaurant? I live in New Jersey. It's not the biggest town in the world. We have 3, right? So in the end, when I lived in Hoboken, there were at least 6. I don't know. There are more Chinese restaurants than most major chains in the country. And that's a stat I have never heard before. But all I know is that while I don't eat it very often, Chinese food is awesome. It really is.
It is. I agree. By the way, I've been to many Chinese restaurants, and when you go back, most of the time it's not Chinese working in the Chinese restaurant.
Well, that's a very good point.
Exactly. It's looking at me, right?
I think John should open a Chinese restaurant chain. I think that's the next thing in the food
They're
thing.
running out of Chinese for Chinese restaurants?
Yeah, they're running out of Chinese.
They're running out of Greeks for Greek diners.
Yeah, how many times do you go to those places and you're like, wait a minute, none of them are really Chinese or Greeks?
Yeah.
Or...
Do you even know what a gyro is? Greek? No, probably not, because that person isn't Greek. It's a very good point.
And you know who owned all the Italian restaurants in Manhattan? The Albanians and all the pizza places.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is.
It is. So,
wow.
Joe, I want to ask you about this. You know about Nicholas Kristof's blood libel against the state of Israel in the New York Times?
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you give us your comments on that?
Yeah, and there are protests, by the way, today that are scheduled apparently outside, I think, right now as we speak, outside the New York Times, apparently. There's word of some big protests planned. Fill us in, Joe.
Look, in the end, Israel is now suing. Israel, like the actual country, is suing the New York Times for what they call blood libel for this piece that Nicholas Kristof did. Obviously, his sourcing is very, very questionable. And in the end, I mean, the Times should probably settle here at this point because there is no good option here. Nicholas Kristof's father apparently was sided or did side with the Nazis during World War II. So, Rutrow, this is a very, very bad thing. And who knows where this goes? But I'd rather hear, is there a lawyer there? You guys have like 100 hosts there.
But let's fill everybody in.
We have 3 lawyers here.
Yeah. But fill everybody in with what the reporting was originally, because it is horrible.
But the key thing is there was about to be a release of a UN-supported report that showed the violence and the sexual terrorism of Hamas against the Israelis on October 7th. And to preempt that, they released this nonsense story about somehow Israel was using a campaign of sexual violence against Palestinian prisoners. That's the gambit. And they did
that's the
this.
gambit completely.
That's the gambit. And Kristof, that idiot, jumped at it and printed it as truth. And that's why they have the lawsuit. And you want a lawyer's opinion? Your advice is well said. They better damn well settle it in a hurry.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Israel, the state, like you just said, is taking action, and they're putting it out everywhere. How dare you? And it's some horrible allegations, by the way, of obviously
using animals to sexually abuse prisoners.
Yeah, it's really just despicable.
But yet that fake news is all over there, and some of these commentators are treating that commentary about this so-called alleged sexual abuse as correct.
Yeah, it's right. And coming again, you question from where it's coming from to begin with.
Sexually abused prisoners, who's screwing who? The animals are screwing the prisoners, or the prisoners are screwing the animals?
They train German shepherds.
Oh, God.
They train German shepherds.
I'm stupid. I just want to ask.
Excuse me. Well, stupid is making this allegation in the first place. So let me tell you. So animal trainers will tell you it's just not possible to do it, and they have testimony on that too.
Okay? And I'm happy to say I don't know either direction.
I don't know which way it's going.
I never watched that movie. Yeah. I want the record to be
Anything
clear.
you'd like to say, Gov Patterson, on this? Help us.
I think we have to move on to what do we stand for.
All right, here we go.
Yes, thank you, Governor.
Here we go, guys.
What do we stand for, people? Truth, justice, and way. No animal rape. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.